Have you ever been dumped? If you have, you know it's a shitty fucking feeling. I've been there many times, sadly. And lucky for you, I am here to share my wisdom and advice on the topic. Unfortunately, breakups are an inevitable part of the dating process. If we're being realistic, it takes a good 6 months to really get to know somebody. And within that time, you develop all these feelings. You might be wearing rose-colored glasses. You'd be in the honeymoon phase. Maybe you've dropped the love bomb. And it can be hard to see the signs that a breakup is coming when you're feeling all those strong emotions towards another person. So, and this ends up leaving you feeling blindsided and brokenhearted and alone. I've absolutely been there. I know the feeling. And in the moment, in the relationship, you might not be able to recognize the signs, but outside, after some time has passed, you can objectively look and be like, oh, okay, I see what happened. So throughout this live, I'm going to try and help you with these signs so that you can better look at the relationship that you're in and the people that you're dating, so that you can maybe see the signs or be the dumper instead of being the sad dumpee who's been blindsided. So we're going to discuss the signs, how to avoid them in the future, and how to better prepare yourself going forward. So the first thing to do is to, before you even go dating, even before you start online dating, turn inward. Sit with yourself, love yourself. If you're already someone who does this, that's fabulous. If you're not someone who does this, maybe get out a journal, maybe sit with yourself in meditation, really spend some time with yourself. This is the first step that I have before anyone starts dating, is like really get to know yourself, who you are, and what you really want, what you truly want. So you want to do that for yourself. You also want to do that for the partner that you're trying to manifest. So you want to look at what their qualities are, what their likes and dislikes are, what their quirks are, what their hobbies are, any of those types of things that you're looking for. And thirdly, you want to look at what your relationship together will look like. So you have like yourself, and then you have what your partner is, and then how is that going to work together? What's that going to look like together? Get really clear on what those things are so that you have these lists to fall back on while you are in the dating game, whether you're dating someone for a few weeks or months. You need these to fall back on, and you need to know what your non-negotiables are so that you don't compromise on something that is a core value for yourself. For example, when I was dating, I would never date, one of my non-negotiables was smoking. I never wanted to date someone who was a smoker. And I knew that was a non-negotiable for me, so I wouldn't even waste my time talking to anybody who was a smoker online. So by making these lists, you are able to look at yourself and what your ideal partner is going to look like, and you'll have them to know what your non-negotiables are, so that you don't compromise. So you have your lists. Now you're ready to start dating, and you need to keep those lists your number one priority. You need to remember that people don't change. You can't, let's use babies. So you can't be like, I really want kids, and this guy checks all these boxes, but he doesn't want kids. Well, maybe one day he'll want kids, so I'll start dating him, and then, maybe he just hasn't met the right person yet. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe you're going to end up dating him, and you're going to end up brokenhearted because he isn't in alignment with what you're looking for, and you've just wasted your time and his time, and then you're both emotionally hurt from the experience. So remember, this is why the first step is so important, to get all those lists down, so that you can save some time dating these people. Then once you've started dating, let's say you've been with someone for a couple weeks or a couple months, try and look at your relationship objectively. Try and remove yourself from the relationship and give yourself the advice that you would want to give if you were your own best friend. You know yourself better than anyone, especially if you've done the work from my first step, getting to know yourself. So if you're able, it's so hard when you're in the relationship and you have the rose-colored glasses on, it's so hard to take yourself out of the relationship. But if you can consciously sit with yourself, do like a personal date, have a bath, whatever, remove yourself from the relationship and look at it. Is this someone I want to be with? Does this person align with my lists in the beginning? Do they add qualities I hadn't considered? Do they have qualities I hadn't considered that are bad? Look at all those things. If you're someone, I'm like this, who talks to your family and friends for advice, totally cool, but remember to take their advice with a grain of salt. Some parents are like, oh, date the doctor, he's a doctor. I've had friends like that too. Oh, he's rich, date the rich guy. Cool, but like that doesn't have any bearing on who he is as a person. So it's fine that they say those things, but remember that to go back to your lists and your core values. Another thing that I've experienced in the past is if I've been unsure about someone and then I talk to my friends and like, oh, we love him, he's great, he really fits right in. Don't let that be a reason you stay with them just because your friends like him. That's not a good enough reason. So, as I said, take your friends' advice with your friends and family advice with a grain of salt. Don't let them sway your decision. If you know in your gut that they're not really the right fit for you. Now, signs to look for if there's going to be an impending breakup. It's really helpful if you're able to remove yourself and look at the relationship objectively. So when you start seeing any of the following signs, try and remove yourself and think, are these typical behaviors for the person? Let's say you've been dating for 4 months. Is this typical behavior for this person for the past 4 months, or is this new behavior? Typically, in my experience, what I have seen is new behaviors. And then because you have those rose-colored glasses and maybe you've said you love each other or you think you love them, you haven't told them yet, it's really hard to not make excuses for them. So that's where it's really important to remove yourself and look at it objectively. So the signs to look for: they will distance themselves from you. They will make excuses for dates. Oh, I forgot I had poker night with the guys. And then they won't make an effort to reschedule with you. They will put off breaking up with you while they decide that that's actually what they want to do. So they'll create this distance and this space so that they can figure out what's going on for themselves. And then come next time they make plans with you, you're so excited to see them. They're like, yep, jokes, I'm breaking up with you. Sorry you were so excited to see me, bruh. They will stop caring about things that used to seem important. Like, oh, we always walk the dog together on Sunday mornings. And they'll stop caring that to do those things. There'll be a serious lack of communication. You'll go long amounts of time without speaking to them. And in some cases, they'll stop touching you. They'll stop kissing you. They'll stop holding your hand. They'll stop being intimate with you. All those types of things. Now, if sadly you've been blindsided and you find yourself on the other side of a breakup, sad and alone and bewildered, remember that breakups are a blessing, that anything energetically that is meant for you will find you. And whether that is a relationship that is meant to teach you some sort of lesson, or causing a breakup so that to make space in your life for that ideal person to slide right in. So a breakup is always, in the end, not in the moment, in the end, a breakup is always a blessing. It's important in the beginning to honor your feelings and honor your timeline. Friends and family are so quick to tell you, oh, you were in a relationship for 6 months, you should be over him by now. Or you were in a relationship for 5 years, you should be over him by now. You should be dating by now. You should be blah, blah, blah. They should mind their own fucking business. You should listen to yourself, listen to your intuition, listen to your gut. Pardon me. Listen to your feelings and honor your own timeline. You are the only one who is going to know when you are ready to get yourself back out there. Nobody can know that for you. And spending some time with yourself and honoring yourself and going on personal dates with yourself and really getting back to know. We often lose ourselves in a relationship. So this breakup is a beautiful opportunity for us to spend more time with ourselves and reacquaint ourselves with who we are and what we want in life. In addition, you can review your lists that we talked about in the beginning, because maybe this person that you dated brought to light a quality that you didn't know about, and you're like, I never want to date someone like that again. And you can add that to your list. Make it another non-negotiable. It helped make you aware of that for the future. Finally, I want to say that it's important to remember that there is nothing wrong with you and that you did nothing wrong to cause the breakup. That your self-worth is not determined by some guy who couldn't see your value. As I said previously, I believe that everything happens for a reason, and I believe that energetically, if we're not meant to be with someone, we won't be with them, and that's okay. It took me 14 years of dating to learn that it's okay to go through a breakup, and there is nothing wrong with you. You are whole and complete just as you are. And if you go through a breakup, it's just a little bump along the road, a bump in the journey. And I promise you, in the future, you will be grateful for these experiences, for this knowledge that you now have, that you know, I definitely don't want someone like that, or I definitely do want someone similar to that. And the universe is making space for you to have someone even better. And it might be hard to see in the moment. I remember crying myself to sleep, and my brother in the next room coming to sleep on the floor in my bedroom because he probably couldn't sleep because I was crying. And like, I know what it's like to be in a breakup, and it can be really sad and devastating. And that breakup that I'm telling you about, where my brother slept on my floor, I am grateful now. So maybe have a little bit of faith that good things are coming and better things are on the way, and that you are perfect and just where you are, and you are on the right path, and you are exactly where you need to be.